Hello, hello, hello. It is Monday, June 17th, 2024, and it's hot. It is definitely hot. We know we've been experiencing some decent weather over the previous month or so. Uh, Cooler temperatures, decent humidity, and this past week it's just started to escalate. And it is definitely summer. As far as I'm concerned, it's summer. I don't know when the solstice is and all, whatever. It's hot enough, it's summer. Uh, We've had temperatures in the 90s, and currently it's 89 degrees here at 7 o'clock. And over the next week, we are looking at temperatures in the low 90s to the mid 90s and high 60s overnight. So it is definitely hot. I hope everybody is doing what they can to stay cool. I do have the AC running in the shop, and it currently is about 80 degrees in here, maybe 79, 78 degrees. And the difficulty with it is I don't run the AC all the time. I try not to do that because it's just wasting energy. Now, the problem you have with that is residual heat. So if you have items in here, big ticket items, big cars and stuff like that, and they get warm, well, they hold on to that warmth, and it takes it a while for that temperature to work its way down. So I have not been out here pretty much at all this past week, and all that has to stems from my eye injury that I had. I will say that I'm doing much better. Before we even go anywhere further, I'll say I'm doing much better. Not quite 100%, but pretty pretty close. I've had several visits at the VA hospital at the ophthalmologist, and while they have expressed concern, they don't want to do more than they have to, and the reason for that is because my vision is so good. When I've taken the vision tests, you do read the smallest letters on the chart, whatever. Essentially, I've got just about 20/20 vision in both eyes. I know my right eye actually sees a little bit better than my left eye in that type of test, just a little bit. But essentially, I'm at 20/20. I know I have reading glasses on because as we get older, you can't focus up anymore. So that's where I'm at. And the difficulty with it is you have the pupil, and I guess the cornea, retina, whatever, all the stuff. But I think the retina is the colored part of the eye, and it's the piece of metal was stuck just outside of the pupil, right in the green part. My eyes are green, by the way, but right in the green part of my eye. And there's still some residue there. And what they would normally do if it was a piece that was stuck somewhere else, they would actually use like a small drill and drill that out. That's uncomfortable. Drill that out and then let it heal. But they're worried that they might injure my vision or hurt my vision. So at this point, I did have two visits this past week, and I have a visit tomorrow for a follow-up to see how it's doing. But overall, I can see really good. I know I'm always sensitive to light regardless. Sunlight is, I want to wear sunglasses all the time. And there's been times I've even driven at night with sunglasses on because headlights, of course, are so bright now. But I'm doing really well, I think, overall, and I'm looking forward to getting some other stuff done. So I did not come out here really at all last week. I just didn't feel like doing it. I didn't. I don't know. I don't think I would have risked or caused any other problems, but I just really just didn't feel like being out here and doing some of this stuff. So if you're new to my live streams, I know many of you are repeat offenders and you show up every week, and I appreciate you for that. But if you're new to my live stream, we talk about classic cars for the most part. And again, my bracket is 55 to 78, 79, somewhere in that range. That's kind of what I consider classic now. Of course, that would fall into antiques at this point, I guess, based on the parameters for antique vehicles. So we do these live streams and we talk about these cars. If you have a question or a comment or something you want to bring up, by all means do so and be part of the conversation. If you have a problem that I can't answer or have some answers to, There's always a great group of people over in his chat box, and they have some really good input, and I appreciate all of them being here. So let's get started, and we'll see who's here tonight. First one in is Rick Gain, and he says, 88 in New Jersey at this point. I have a great appreciation for the person who invented Freon. I agree. Glad you're here, Rick. Terry Keithley, good hot Monday all. Give Barry a thumbs up and like. Thank you kindly, the cats. Thank you, Terry. And I see you finally got it figured out for Patreon, and you've signed up. That's awesome. Glad you're on there. PTL Fabrication, 88 degrees and thunderstorms in southwest Pennsylvania. We haven't had rain in weeks, and that's not good. I mean, I think we're still above average, but that doesn't matter if you get all of your rain in the first month and then you don't have anything for the rest of the year. That doesn't help. So being above average sounds good. It's really not. I will say that I have put out I remembered that I had a soaker hose, so I put it out around our blueberry bushes and our fig tree and our hazelnut tree or bush or whatever it is, and I let that soak, for half a day or something. And then I did another section of stuff we have up in the front of the house. And man, the grass around that area is just like, thank you. Just growing nice and green like crazy. You don't realize how much of a difference just having water on the grass helps. But not that I'm in a hurry to be mowing, but I want to keep the blueberry bushes alive and the other stuff, flowering plants and stuff my wife has, and try to keep it going. But yeah, we could use some rain here for sure. Glad you're here, PTL. Travis Holtman, good evening all. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you, Travis. Glad you're here. Oh, and I should say, I hope everybody who is a father had a happy Father's Day. We'll talk about something with that in just a minute as well. Troy Justit, greetings from coastal Georgia. Barry, hope your eye's doing better. I hate to see you not being able to do what you love. Yes. Well, thank you for that, Troy. And I'm trying. I am definitely trying. Bob Shoemaker, good evening all. Yes, hot out here in Oklahoma, mid-90s and 102 heat index. Oh, boy. That's not fun. Robert is checking in front of Craftsman, evening all. 97 with a heat index of 107 here. Cooler than normal, and they're expecting this to be a cooler summer with only 25 days over 100 versus the usual 45 to 95. Yeah, well, over 100, I don't want that. I don't even want over 90. I mean, I want to be warm, but I don't want to be hot. I'll say that. So glad you're here. If I didn't already, you get an extra bell. Her Scrambler, 88 and humid in Wisconsin. Can't paint. Yeah, that is a problem. That is a problem. And I know I can't do any paint for a while, even if I wanted to. Steve Reed, hello, Barry, and everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you, Steve. Is this where I say Paducah? I can't remember. I think it is. Paducah, Kentucky, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. Brian B. Hello, Barry and all. Hey, Barry, can you ask the group about the problem I have? Okay. Let me go back. That's where. Let me find the question because I don't know that I know I responded to you. Let me look at what the question was, and I'll refresh that for everybody. Okay. It says. Have any good looking for ideas for how to get a seized aluminum distributor out of a small block Ford? I have tried PP Blaster and a little heat. I will try to make it to the live cast tonight. So Brian is trying to get a distributor out of his small block Ford engine, and apparently it's galled or seized. I'll say galled. It's seized. Typically what you run into is dissimilar metal corrosion. And what that means is you've got a steel or aluminum or whatever, and the metal reacts to the metal. And so corrosion happens and things get stuck. So other than breaking that thing into pieces, I don't have a good answer. You got to be careful with heat. You don't want to overheat something. And there's probably not an easy answer for doing that. So if anybody has any suggestions for getting a stuck distributor out of a small block Ford, by all means, share with us. Glad you're here, Brian. Rick, the iris is the color part of the eye around surrounding your pupil. Okay. The retina is the back of the eye and processes the signals, sending them to the brain. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that. The iris. Green part. Iris. That's where the thing is stuck. Thank you, Rick. I know you know a lot about eyes. I know you have problems, so I appreciate your input. James Smothers. Good evening, all. Good evening, James. Glad you're here. Hope your channel hope you've been making video stuff for your channel. Ralph Cybulski. Hi, all. Hi, Ralph. Glad you're here. That's Ralph A. Cybulski Jr. Got to put that in there. That sounds like you should be the kicker for the Raiders or something. Now kicking Ralph Cybulski. Troy Jessup, how much work does the 70 you're getting need? I like the sleekness of the 70. I would love to get one someday. Current project first. That is a good question. I don't know yet. I have not seen it in person. I have a few pictures of it, and that's about all I know. I did notice in one of the pictures that somebody has patched the trunk drop-off area with what looks like a piece of galvanized steel or something and pop rivets. So it's obviously going to need at least trunk drop-offs in the back. But until I see it in person, I don't know. It may benefit from a complete full floor pan, as many of them do, but I have not gotten to that point yet. I hope to. I don't know when I'm going to pick it up, honestly. It's going to be one of these where it's probably going to be like a 2-day trip where I just take off, pick it up, drive back the next day, and be done. But I have to plan that out. We have a lot going on, as we all do over the summer. Several events that I'm doing over the next few weeks. So, yeah, I have to get up there and get it on my tow dolly. Thank you, Troy. Good question. KRD, Klein Race Car Design. Hello, everyone. Hello, Klein. KRD, glad you're here. Steve Reed, been having rain showers here in Paducah. Okay, well, I'm jealous because we need some rain. We've had some. It was Saturday. Our oldest son was here with his wife and the grandkids, and we were putting air in the tire for his van and checking the spare, and we had like, and that was it. That was it. It wouldn't even call it a sprinkle. It was just almost like 110 drops of rain hit the driveway, and that was it. It's just nothing. Dawn's Manufacturer. Hello, everyone. Hippie Poppy Day. Hippie Poppy Day dudes. I'll take your word for it. And he says cold and rainy in PDX. We really need some rain for sure. Car Guy Troy, hello folks from Utah. I'm fair to partly cloudy, and weather-wise is windy and coolish. Wind is good, cool is good. I'll take both. Anthony Carver, hello from Missouri. Oh, hello, Anthony. Glad you're here. Terry Keithley, would dry ice work on the distributor? I don't know for sure. It's probably more about corrosion than anything else, but I don't know. It might help. Troy, I had a distributor seize, I guess not cease, but seize in a 302. I got it out by heating the block area and rocking it with a pair of channel locks. It took some time, but it did come out. Okay. Thank you, Troy. Richard Vogel, good evening, Barry. I hope you're feeling better. Thank you, Richard. And I am improving. I am definitely improving. Blind Luck Mechanic, hey man, I'm glad you're here. If you haven't already, and I'm gonna give him a shout out right now. Check out his YouTube channel. Seriously, check out his YouTube channel. Blind Luck Mechanic. He's blind, and he's working on a '65 Mustang. Go check it out. I mean, kudos to him for for just being able to do anything like that. He's digging into it. He's making patches, and it's just I saw a couple videos and I'm like, holy cow, that's impressive. And he's up in North Georgia, so you never know, I might actually go up and pay him a visit just to see what he's doing. I think that'd be really cool. And he also says you could try heating a slide hammer on a distributor. Probably try heating. Okay, he could try heating, and a slide hammer on the distributor probably will destroy it if the engine is out. You could flip it upside down and drive the distributor out from the bottom. So there's some good input. Thank you for that, Blind Luck Mechanic. Steve Reed, they make a fork that goes on a slide hammer. I have gotten out that way when they are stuck. Okay, there's some other good ideas. Leonard Gilbreth, evening all. How's everyone been dealing with wind and blowing dust? Well, I'm sure you are, and that's I assume pretty typical to where you live. But yeah, we're doing pretty good. Julian Valentine might be a bit rough, but can Brian get a puller slide hammer on a distributor shaft and give it a jolt upwards? So that's another good idea. Thank you, Julian. James, I have seen distributor to oil pump drive shaft get stuck from getting twisted, and only way to remove is drop oil pan and remove oil pump and pickup, then remove drive shaft with slide hammer. Okay. Well, that's definitely something to look at, and I hope Brian has some good answers here that he can use. Robert, the engine rebuilder here, smacked them out from the bottom with a sledge and bar, like Blind Luck Mechanic mentioned, and I have destroyed them before. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I know I've probably put in more Chevy distributors than anything else, and I can say I don't remember them being super tight. I don't know what the tolerance is on a distributor, but I know that I've never had one hang up in a Chevy. Now, does that mean it can't? No, it just means that I haven't had that experience. I don't know if the Ford tolerance is tighter, or if there's more slop in the Chevy. I don't know, but I just know from experience I've had really haven't had a problem with them before. Dave Conville is checking in from New Jersey. Good evening, everybody. Glad you're here. Hope your cats are watching. Wayne Forbes, hey Barry, high 80s here in Ohio. Following all through with the Slither project. Learned much from your videos. Many thanks. Well, thank you, Wayne, and I'm glad you're here. And I'll point out to you as well, if I have been putting longer videos on Patreon with even more details. So if you're interested in seeing some of that, it would benefit me for sure. I don't know what it is. I still can't figure it out, and I know I doubt I ever will. But my revenue keeps going downhill for YouTube. I mean, down, and I don't get it. I just don't. I don't understand why it's such a problem. There was a video somebody posted the other day, and it was something about building a '67 fastback from a box, and it was just talking about putting together a car from new parts, and didn't actually do it. I don't think. He just talked about it and mocked things up, and it's got 300,000 views, and I'm like, dude, I'm showing you how to actually do that. And I'm lucky if I get 1,000 views anymore. It's just ridiculous. So anyway, let's go on. Anthony, we'll be watching Blind Luck Mechanic. Okay, good. Let's see. Dave Condell, the cats are always watching. Yeah, that's the way they are. They're waiting to attack. Brian B., thanks for all the suggestions. I have a feeling I'll end up pulling the timing cover and gears, then drive it out. Yeah, that just doesn't sound appealing, but sometimes that's all you can do. I've got the engine for the 67, not this car, but the other car, apparently before it went to the place that it got worked on, it had, I guess, a rebuilt engine, and then it sat outside or something and got wet. And so when the guy got his car back, he tried to unstick the engine, and he pulled the heads off of it. And I don't think he waited long enough. I don't think he did enough. I think he just started smacking the pistons with a board, just. And I know he punched a hole at least in one of the pistons. So I have that engine block. It's up in my house garage. I'm going to have at least, if not a full set, at least one piston. But I may have to just break everything down and have it, rehoned or whatever, and measured and make sure that everything's good, and have that put back, or put it back together. But you never. It's just rough when you start having stuff sticking and causing problems. Anthony Carver, you always use a little never sees when putting distributor on aluminum to steel. That's a great idea. Great idea. And Brian finishes the sentence with drive it out from the bottom. Yep. James, I still wanted to say fastback conversions are overdone. I'd like to see you turn your 68 red into a California special in Highland green. Yeah, I'm on the fence. I really am. The problem I run into right now is this car was rear-ended. Frame rails are bent. There's even interior panels that are bent. So it's going to need at least a one-piece floor pan underneath. And I'm not sure exactly where I want to go with it. Now, I do understand people are saying make, California Special Highland Green. I get that. But the 67, it has more problems. And what I mean is, like, the roof on that car is rusted through, the rain gutters are messed up, the A-pillars are messed up, and it could easily benefit from a fastback conversion to remedy all of that. And I'm kind of in between right now. I can take this car and just dismantle it, just take it apart, salvage those pieces, the A-pillar, the windshield frame, the B-pillar, all that stuff, take all that and put it on the 67, and now that car is basically intact, other than hanging quarters and stuff like that. This thing, all that's really good on it at this point is the roof structure and the A-pillars and that, and the front frame rails. Everything else is bad. So it's going to be a challenge how I want to do this. But I do appreciate everybody's input on that. I'm really, really trying to think this through and make the most sense of how I want to do this. And the thing too, you can do, it would kind of, you could take this car and turn it into a bullet clone if you wanted to, but I don't know. There's still plenty to do. I still have the Cobra Jet to finish, obviously, and I've been working on getting some stuff together for that, but I'm just trying to get great ideas or good ideas on these two cars. Wayne Forms, same as eBay did in the 90s, greed. What are we talking about? Oh, yeah, greed. Yeah, you're right. I get it. You're talking about the YouTube. It's terrible. I mean, it really is. Car Guy Troy, probably difference between having a brass gear versus steel on a distributor being stuck or not. Not a bad idea. Just pull the cover anyway. If the timing chain gears are worn, good time to change them. That's a good point. Blind Luck, thank you for the channel shout out. You're welcome. I hope some people jump over there and start checking out your channel and seeing what you're doing. Also, he asked, what subframe connectors would you recommend for a 65 Mustang coupe? I can't just name some frame connectors off the top of my head. I know I tried a set that were from Spintech mufflers, didn't like them, and did not even put them on the car. They were just didn't like the design. But there's a variety of brands out there, and I'm sure there's going to be some input from others that will give us the names. I can't think of them. I don't know if FabTech makes some. I don't remember specifically. Mustangs to Fear probably makes some, but others will be able to put some answers to that one. So, Dave Conville, is there anyone else's feed locking up then rewinding for about 2 minutes? I don't know. Anybody else having problems, or is it just Dave and too many cats in the room? Maybe there's cat interference, as they call it. Could be. Robert, Dave Conville, no problem here, and Troy Justit, mine is streaming good. Okay. And Travis just says feed is good. Okay, so it's probably something with Dave. Yeah, everybody else is saying it's good. Rick Gain also comments, Blind Luck Mechanic has also put a 302 into a Ford Ranger. Not an easy task with eyesight, yet he did it with none. Yeah, like I said, go check him out. Car Guy Troy, streaming is fine. Ollie the cat is enjoying the feed. Okay. So Troy is saying it's those cats. You have too many cats in the room, Dave. Cat fur in the router. Okay. So I want to give you some insight as to where I'm at on the Cobra Jet right now. I left off with the calipers and the calipers being different colors. So I am painting the calipers to match. I'm not going to send one back anymore. I cleaned them up, took everything back off of the driver's side, and I'm painting them to match. Now, the problem you run into is this. Now, this is the clip. And when I tell you this is a goofy design, in 1969, why they made the calipers like this, I don't know. I think there were I try to think back to other vehicles that I've worked on from that era that had disc brakes. Now, these calipers are just weird. They have the outer pad has pins that go through the pad, through the caliper bracket, or through the caliper assembly, and the pin has a little shoulder cut into it, and then this clip snaps over it, and it has to slide down, and then this little tab here locks it on. It just makes no sense. Now, the problem we run into, as I had to take this one back off, is relieving that. You have to try to get that little clip to come up, and when I did it, the tab snapped off. So you have to replace, more than likely, these clips anyway. And I didn't want to order some. I thought, I'll check at my local parts stores just to see. And I actually checked with one of my old friends who has he's the original owner of a 69 Mach 1, and he has his own business here locally. And I stopped by his place, and we looked at his stuff, and he didn't have any. But I went to Advance, which is it was just silly to even go to Advance. And what year, what engine? Okay, I'm telling them. They found that it comes in a bundle kit. They could order this bundle kit with all the clips and stuff like this, plus the brackets on the back and bolts and junk. And then I said no. So I went over to the Napa store, and they had them in their inventory, but they were at other stores. So they are ordering them in. They're like $1.25 a piece. I'm like, perfect. Go ahead and order some in for me. And so they should be here tomorrow. Now that said, I do have an eye appointment tomorrow, so hopefully on the way back from that eye appointment, I can just stop in there and pick up my clips and start putting the brakes back together on the car. Once I get that done, then I can put the front wheels that I have, put those on the car and get it on the ground, and hopefully move forward getting pieces and parts bolted to it. So that's kind of where I'm at right now on the Cobra Jet. But I am trying to get stuff together. Mason, have you been staying cool? Also, how's the mini split been keeping the shop cool? Does it keep it cool? Yes, it does a pretty good job. I mentioned it earlier, I don't come out here, like I wasn't out here all last week, so I never even turned it on last week. And it is cooling it down right now. It's comfortable. I'll say that. I'm not doing a lot of activity, but it's comfortable. And I think the thermometer on the wall is probably just about 78 degrees, which considering the space that I have, that's not too bad. So, yeah, it's doing pretty good. Thank you, Mason. Rick says, Barry, you need to shake cat treats on the feed for all the cat viewers and their owners. Oh, yeah. No. Robert, early calipers were goofy regardless of who made them, Kelsey Hayes, etc. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. This just seems like overly complicated when you have a pin and a clip, and then you have some sort of metal guard going over the back of the caliper that you can't take that off unless you take the brake hose off. It's like a Rube Goldberg machine. You know, you have all these pieces that have to line up to make it work right. James, I saw a channel review on the channel with a 300,000 fastback build. It's being pushed because of the thumbnail image is eye-catching and it causes curiosity. I hate to say it. It's borderline clickbait. Yeah, that's the thing. That's basically what it is. That's what it is. Jerry is checking in. Barry, howdy Barry, howdy y'all. It's a balmy negative. What? Oh, negative 50 degrees outside at 30,000 feet. Oof. Got to get back to work. Have a great stream. Thank you, Jerry. James, YouTube programmer said recently that they push videos that ask a question and or cause curiosity. If you remember your video about the announcement of 69 owner passing away, people watch to see. Yeah, and I don't know that I did anything specific to make that become watched. I don't know. I don't remember, and I don't want to do that. And that's the thing that kills me. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to do that. I was thinking about that before. It's like, you know, they post these pictures or whatever that, I get it. There's curiosity involved. There's people that want to be entertained or whatever. I get it. And I may end up having to do some of that with whatever I end up doing with these two cars that I have in here. Like here's an idea that I had. Okay, I'm thinking of making a video on this car, and I might even do that this week. I might, or it might be next week. But I'm thinking about doing a video on the 68 Mustang. And it might be kind of clickbaity because I'll tell you up front, I got that car cheap. Dirt cheap. Okay. And I may just make a video about that and saying what does in this case, okay, I paid $300 for that car. There you go. I paid $300 for that 68 Mustang. And I might do a video that says what does a $300 Mustang look like, right? And then what I want to do is do a video of here's what to look out for when you're buying a classic Mustang. And I can go over a lot of details. And so it won't be somewhat clickbait, but it'll also be an informational video because there's a lot I can talk about on this car. Problems that it has, why I got it cheap, and that may be kind of what I do with that with that video at least. And that way people get some information that'll help them with the potential car they're buying. And it also just kind of gets people interested. Mason, having a mini split or air conditioner in the shop is so nice. My grandpa has been thinking about buying one for his garage. Yeah, they're definitely worth having. Brian is pointing out, and Brian, we may have to work on that. I think that's Brian's YouTube channel. So it's really hard. And Brian, I just say it's kind of hard to promote that in a way that, like, Blind Luck Mechanic makes, you can read that and go, okay, that means something. Brian B 8401, that's kind of hard to parlay into a memorable, let's say, or hey, what was that guy's YouTube channel? So we may have to work on changing that a little bit, but I think that's Brian's. I think that's the name of his YouTube channel, and I think he's just done some experimenting with putting videos out there. Robert says the old calipers were probably designed by a committee. Yes, probably so. My brother-in-law makes these little pins that we don't know what to do with. Oh, we'll buy them from him. Chris Montrero. Greetings from Jacksonville, Florida, my friend. Well, Chris, glad you're here. Robert, my mini split has been working well and heats the shop pretty well too, but I still need another one at the other end of the shop. Yeah, I could use another one on the other side, definitely, but that's where I'm at right now. James, yeah, Scotty Kilmer says, rest in peace or I quit every sixth video. And people still watch it. Scotty Kilmer, I don't know. That's another one. I don't get it. Well, let me tell you something. Buy a Toyota. It's the only car that ever blah 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 blah. Buy a Toyota. My Toyota survived a volcano. Buy a Toyota. I quit. Scotty Kilmer. Yeah. Robert, what does a $300 Mustang cost you to build into a driver? Now that could be an angle. I'm gonna have to think about some different approaches on that. But yeah. Or what what do you get with it? What do you get out of $300 for a Mustang or whatever? I don't know. I'll come up with something. Travis says, good idea. Yeah, thank you. Mason, how's Jade been doing? Have you drove it lately? Also, does Jade have air conditioning? Yes, Jade does have air conditioning. I drove it a few weeks ago, and I did a video. So the last video that I posted is from a car show, and I did drive it to the car show and all that. So yeah, there's a video on that. PTL, same here on YouTube. I agree on Scotty. Can't do the clickbait. If our channel grows, it will be by honest content. Yeah. And I think that's what's killing me now is, I make what I feel is really good, honest content. And the masses don't seem to want that. So it is what it is. That's why I appreciate everybody that has joined me on Patreon that is helping me keep making videos, to be honest. Rick Aim, will the 300 Mustang run and drive at some point for the title of the video? Yeah, that could be. Wayne Forbes, I picked up a 64 Falcon for $2,500, drove it about 1,800 miles, had handling problems. 1,800 miles. That's halfway across the country. That's better than halfway across the country. Wow. That's a long drive. That's impressive. Leonard found a 72 Mustang Coupe locally for $1,500, but it's in way worse. Way worse than your 68. Oh, okay. Well, what's funny is I picked up the blue 68 that I called Poco, and that car is almost entirely rust free. Floor pans and everything are still original in that car. Everything is solid, but it needs a quarter panel and a wheelhouse and a couple other things in the back just to put it back together to make it a functional car. But this one's going to need a lot. It's going to need a lot of pieces and parts. Richard, how about making the 68 into a fastback Shelby tribute car? Well, that's a possibility. That is a possibility. I don't know how far I want to go with it. If I here's where I'm at. I like to build stuff. Like I love to do sheet metal work. I even like doing body work. I know, weird, right? I like doing fitment. I like doing gaps. I like making everything. I feel like a sculptor in a sense. I can put all that together and make it look really, really good. And then my that's like the peak of my interest. Like I made it to that point, and then I kind of plane off, and then things kind of get a little not so motivated. Like putting in the interior, putting in the engine, putting in this, putting in that, putting on chrome. All those things are not my peak. Okay, I would like to, if I do something with this to make it a fastback, I would like to make it a shell, right? Even if I went all the way to paint and then hand it off to somebody else. Really. I mean, I would like to have somebody commit to wanting it, let's say, and I build it as a fastback, and I could even do any mods that they may want to it along the way. So that's kind of where I'm just kind of feeling how things work out for that. But I appreciate the idea. Wayne Forbes found that the torque boxes were shot. Talking about the Falcon. Yeah. Not surprised. James Smothers Berry do a couple of Scotty Kummer parodies and go viral. You have his voice spot on. You know, I probably should. There's a video that I watched several years ago of him. I haven't watched very many of his videos, and I swear he sounds like he's drunk. He does, and he had like mustard on his mouth and on his shirt, like he had just eaten a sandwich and said, "Oh, I forgot to do a video. I better go out here and show these people how to put washer fluid in their Toyota." You know, so. That's what I should do. Dump some mustard on my face, put on some shaded glasses. Let me show you how to do this. That's a great idea, James. Tall red easel, iced coffee time. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll just show you this. When it becomes late in the afternoon, I have these. This is Victor Allen's Mocha iced coffee latte, and you know they sell these on Amazon, and I think it's like, I forget how much it is. It's not even $1 a can, I don't think. And I ended up drinking one of these just because I like caffeine and I like mocha. So, but iced coffee, yes. Wayne Forbes, your work has been very informative. Yes, thank you, Wayne. Tall red easel. Thank you. Let me post. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. I think I can put that at the top of the list, I think. Yeah, there you go. Starred. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Rick A. and viewers seem more interested in stupid entertainment than actual education and content. Yeah, and I get it. I hate to say it. I do get it. That's how the bulk of things are right now. They just want to just sit back and watch. Wayne Forbes, a major problem here is the parts are unavailable. I have to fab everything. Yeah. Now, I don't know how close Mustang parts may be. If you can take something like the torque box and cut it down or reshape it, I don't know. I don't know if it'd be worth it. You could probably get some Spectre premium ones that are in 2 pieces, maybe, and cut it down and make it fit. I don't know. Brian B, thanks, Barry. Just wanted the group to see the current state of my project. If they're interested, I will work on the name. Yeah, just come up with something a little different than Brian B 8401. It's just saying. Blind Luck Mechanic, that is actually a good Scotty impersonation. Yeah. Oh, don't get me started. I might. I just might have to do it. I could put on a denim shirt, and Richard Vogel says you need Scotty's goofy Ben Franklin glasses. There you go. I'm sure I could probably pull it off. I don't know if I could make a video long enough to make it make sense, because they want you to do a longer, like at least 8 minutes. So I'd have to do some really just goofy stuff like what he does. Rick Gaines, start your video by saying, charge up your welders. Hey, there you go. Yeah. Charge up your welders. Charge up your welders. Fire up your plasma cutters. We're getting ready to cut something in half. Blind Luck, you could take the car that needs so much work and make one of the Mustang Ranchero hybrids. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you. I'll be Fire Marshal Bill. Let me show you something. Okay. I had not even thought of that yet. I've had an idea for quite some time to make a Mustang station wagon. I've actually had somebody want to commission me to build a Mustang station wagon, okay? I've had somebody ask me about building that. And I'm going to tell you a secret that I have that I think would work to do something odd like that. You look at a Dodge Magnum that they made in the mid-2000s, right? The Dodge Magnum station wagon. And look at the roof line. See this roof line? If I can point at it right there, right? And then I'm going the wrong way. And then the Dodge Magnum has a very similar line like that. And I'm actually considering the idea of finding a roof from a Dodge Magnum and seeing how close I could make it line up with the angles on that back window opening, and putting that hatched style Magnum roof on it. I think it would work. I know. It's different, but I think it would work. And I know I'm saying this to you, Blind Luck Mechanic. I'm not saying it directly to you. I'm selling it to everybody, because I know you can't see what I'm saying, and I apologize for that. However, that's the idea that I've had, is using the Dodge Magnum roof line. So, and you may have, I know you lost your sight. You weren't born without sight. So you may even know what I'm talking about if you've ever seen one of those Dodge Magnums, prior to you losing your sight. So, 67 Mustang Coupe Restoration. If you build a 68 on the fastback, I'll give you $500 for it. Double your money. Well, I don't think that'll work. James Smothers, I know Wayne Forbes Classic Industries sells. So he's saying Wayne Forbes Classic Industries sells loads of Falcon parts. So there you go. James Smothers talk about putting Toyota engine in a 68 Mustang as Scotty. Okay. Yeah. I'd have to think about that a minute. So what I have here is a 65 Mustang Coupe, and if you put a 22R in the engine, whatever. Yeah, I'd have to. I'm losing my focus on that. Troy Justin, I think you got a winner with the voice. Go for it. I might as well. Can't lose anything. Not like my revenue's going to go down much lower. Thank you, Troy. Michael, evening all. Evening, Michael. Glad you're here. Pagliarini, by the way. Wayne Forbes says, hey, you guys, how about a fastback Falcon? No. Can't do that. Rick Gaines, it's already been done. How about a Mustang limousine? Yeah, no. Can't do that. Wayne Forbes, James Smothers, they don't sell torque boxes, is what he's saying. Anthony Carver in the 70s and in the 70s, early 80s in Springfield and Joplin, Missouri, they made several station wagon Mustangs. Yep. And Anthony Carver says, how much is Patreon? Well, there's a link, should be a link down below in the description box. And I encourage everybody to sign up for the minimum, what I'll say is a minimum of the $5 Patreon. There are different levels to it. And interactions also kind of go with that as well. The higher levels, I mean, we can talk on the phone. We can have conversations. We can have solve problems together, at the higher levels. But everything else, the lower, like there's one for $3. I don't recommend that. In fact, I'm ready to cancel that level. There was that was put on there by Patreon, and it really doesn't benefit. It doesn't benefit me, and it doesn't benefit you as a viewer. Some of that will get updates, stuff like that, basic update type videos, but I just can't do full access to anything beyond that. So I recommend a $5. And then there's also options. If you sign up, you can do a yearly thing, which will cut off, I think, 10%. So if you sign up for a yearly membership, it'll take another 10% off the total. So just have a look at it, click around, see what you think. Rick A, let me go see if I can get Scotty to join the stream. It would be fun. Oh, yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun. Robert, there was a Mustang limo project at a place here. I was looking at buying the firewall forward of it, but didn't come to the right price. Ooh, yeah. I don't even want to put a limo Mustang image in my head. I don't even want to think about that. Leonard, someone put a flathead in a '66 Mustang and posted a video of it, and it sounded awesome. Yeah. I could get an old Model A flathead, 4-cylinder flathead Model A engine, put in a Mustang with the unsynchronized 3-speed. Take it to the drag races and turn a quarter mile in 20 minutes. Blind luck mechanic. Yes, I've always thought the Dodge Magnum had a very tough look to them for a station wagon. It did. I keep passively looking for one. If I can find one that's wrecked, because it's unlikely somebody's going to want to keep the roof structure, right? So I'd almost have to buy. I'd probably have to go to a junkyard or a U-Pull-It yard or something and say, I want this. And they would probably tell me to get a Sawzall and cut it off. So I'd have to do it in a way that I could salvage panels as well, I think. So I could have some interior pieces and, if I ever did come around to making that happen. But I really think it would be a cool kind of look to it. But who knows? Who knows? Okay, I have something else I want to show you. It was Father's Day, right? Just yesterday, I guess. I don't know. We celebrated on Saturday with my oldest son and his family, and then yesterday we celebrated with our younger son and our daughter. And they got me something, and I think this is kind of cool. It's something I have not seen done before, and y'all might look at this and think it's silly or whatever. I don't know. It is a pop yourself character. So they made me a Joe Daddy, not a bobblehead, but like. So I haven't decided yet if I want to put this out in any of the videos or not. But in his left hand, he's got a camera, and in his right hand, he has a hammer. So that's a little. It's not a bobblehead, but that's. So I really did appreciate them doing that for me. I thought that was pretty cool. But that was my Father's Day, my Father's Day gift. Let's see. Hold on. Rick, there was a Mustang 65 limousine in New Jersey. My friend used it in his wedding 30 years ago. I think that limousine was sent to Florida. Yeah, I just can't. I can't. I don't want that thought in my head. I don't. Wayne Forms, night y'all. Heading to the shop to do some work on the Falcon. Love your channel, Barry. Thank you, Wayne. Appreciate you. Rick, I think I know somebody that has a Magnum station wagon up here in New Jersey. I believe it's also for sale and might go cheap. Yeah, it would. Whatever I find, it's going to have to be really, really dirt cheap. Leonard, what do you think about Ford sending out a recall for wait a minute. I don't know what we're talking about here. It says 2024 5.0 Mustangs just replace the left head and exhaust cam. Go figure that one. Okay, so there's a recall. And I don't know what 11 is. I don't know if you're talking about 2011 to 2024. I don't know. Or if you're talking about, I guess maybe that's what that means. I don't have the whole story there. But yeah, that does not sound good at all. If they have to replace the left head and exhaust cam. Yeah, I have not heard of that, but that does not sound good. Blind luck mechanic, no apology needed. I don't get hung up on stuff like that. Haha, treat me no differently than anybody else. Okay. I mean, I get it. I get it. Thank you for that. Troy Jessup, 95 Ford Taurus wagon has a similar roof design as the Magnum. There might be more of those around. And that would keep it a Ford product. I don't know. Might have to look at that. Anthony Carver, your mini-me. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Betty Keithley, hi Barry. Betty here, glad your eye is better and continue getting better. The cats and I. Well, thank you, Betty. It is getting much, much better. I'm sure my visit tomorrow will go well. Michael, it's not hard to make torque boxes. I made front and rear boxes using what was left of my original as templates. They're all 14 gauge metal, so the welding is easier. The bending is a pain in the rear. Yes, I agree with that. Terry Keithley, 99 Taurus roof with sunroof will fit in a 48 Chevy 3100 panel truck. We did it in 06. Come out great. Huh. I really didn't even think about the Taurus. That might be worth considering. What was the other one? There's another Ford. Can't think of the name of it. It's like a box station wagon. It came after those. I looked at one briefly just to see. I can't remember the name of it, but it really is a box. It's a very boxy looking station wagon type of vehicle. And I know it. I can't think of the name of it. It's not bad looking, as far as those go, but I can't think of the exact name of it. Here's something else I want to talk about. So, I've done tool videos before. Yeah, the Flex. Yeah, it's the Ford Flex. Yep. That's what it is. It's a unique looking vehicle. I don't know if that would work for a roofline or not. I'd have to look at that a little bit harder. So yeah, flex, and I know it. I can't think. Okay, so we have several saying flex. Anthony says make a minivan Mustang. No, I don't. No, I don't want to do that. Um, but I've done tool videos before, right? So you've seen welder videos. You've probably seen videos on a chop saw, sawzall, my battery jump boxes, a variety of things. And if you look over here in the corner of the screen, you'll see Evolution. That's Evolution Power Tools. And I will be doing a video on that. So if you saw in a previous video, Evolution Power Tools, and I have discounts for these tools as well, usually in my description box. They have provided me again with a 14-inch heavy-duty steel chop saw, and it's your standard chop saw, straight line, and you can pivot, the back table. So those are great, but to me they're really, really good for straight line production run. And if you have a shop that allows you to have that space. So like I know when in high school we had woodworking and we had a chop saw, and the chop saw was set up on a table that had rollers next to it. So you could roll on a piece of wood, put it up against the chop, cut it, move, or actually it was a radial arm saw, I should say, but still the same concept. These chop saws are great, but if you've got a long piece of metal that you want to cut at an angle, you either have to move the saw to make room for the angle, or you have to have enough space around it. Well, this saw is their latest and greatest. It is a 14-inch miter chop saw, and I am excited about that thing. I want to get it out of the box. I'm going to do a video on it and do a demonstration on it. I've seen some previews of what they can do with it and the attachments and stuff, and I think it's fantastic. So that's an upcoming video as well, just so you know. I will be doing that. The Dutchman's Wood Shack. Evening from Geneva, Illinois. Glad you're here, Dutchman. Let's see, Leonard. No, they're telling those buyers whose Mustangs were made from January 30th. Oh, okay. January 30th and February 1st must bring them in. If the engine blows, they won't warranty the motor. Okay. I didn't quite catch all of that. So it's one. That's a very short window. So January 30th to February 1st. So it's only 3 days of production, which I don't know how many they make in a day. I'm just saying. They're 2024s, and they have to replace the left head and exhaust cam. That sounds like very expensive upkeep. A Dutchman, I used to work for the old Craftsman Tool Company. I have some great automotive tools. The best Craftsman, not homeowner special. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I had an old fiber chop saw that I used, and it worked. Made a mess. Blew a bunch of junk in the air. Not a fan anymore. I know that these heavy duty, let me show you how, this thing is huge. Let me just pull this down for a second, this is your comment, and just show you, if you can see how big this thing is. This is a big box. Okay? I mean, this is up, well, it's on dolly, but it's up almost up to my hip. And this thing that box weighs 77 pounds. So that thing has to be industrial. Let me slide it back over. Has to be industrial grade, in my opinion. I say industrial. It's probably as close to industrial as you're going to get for something you would have at home. Rick says, what's the cost of the Evolution Tools chop saw? Sounds like something I might want to replace my chop saw with. Well, let me tell you, I'll be up front. This one right here is not cheap. That one is like $850 for the miter version, and it's a 14-inch blade. Look, they sent me the blade came separate. This is the blade. Okay, this is a big saw blade, 14 inches. I mean, that's armor plating for your chest. So it's a big tool, and I'm going to, like I said, do an unboxing video of it and show it in use. Dutchman says, nice, yes. James Smothers, does it come with a stand? I don't think this one does. Now, the other one that they sent me, whenever they offered it to me, I requested they send a stand with it, and they did. My understanding is this stand, or the stand they may potentially have, since this is such a new thing, I read one review where somebody didn't like the stand that they had made for this one. So I will probably set it up on my welding table as a demonstration. So I have that welding table I use like in almost all my videos now. I'll probably put it up on top of that and see what happens. Now, it does not come specifically with a stand. Good question, though, James. Thank you. The Dutchman, my top of the line, DeWalt Disney. Wait a minute. Dutchman's Wood Shack. My top of the line, DeWalt Disney is awesome. So I'm picturing a chop saw with like Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse on it, right? I know that's not what you meant. He says, my DeWalt is awesome. Yeah. But if it was a DeWalt Disney, that would be even more awesome, especially with the Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck features on it. That would be fantastic. Dave Conville, I'm thinking 1980 Fairmont wagon. Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, no, I want to modernize it. That feels too boxy to me. Dutchman says $700 worth for the DeWalt. Yeah. Yeah. They're not cheap. I mean, these are really nice machines. Robert, the Evolution saw leaves a really nice smooth cut and don't make the metal smoking hot. And it doesn't stink like a fiber blade. That is exactly right. I'm so happy they have sent me that. And I also did a video. They sent me a cordless Sawzall, or reciprocating saw, I guess they call it. Does anybody else have a trigger finger? Mine does that on occasion. Does a weird thing. And also the cordless vacuum. And they sort of accidentally sent me a cordless, what do they call it? Saber saw? Is that right? Like a scroll saw? Like a, where you can cut a hole in a door. You got the saw with the blade coming up and down. And you cut I don't know, saber saw? I can't think of the name. But they sent me one of those. I've never even taken it out of the box. It's still in the box. Because I guess they threw one in the box when they sent it to me. Thanks. So, have not used it. Michael Peglerini, how did you make out with the inner braces for the shaker hood? I found that they are available. I have not ordered them yet, but there are multiple sources that have those. So yeah, those will be coming before too long. The Dutchman's laughing and says he can't spiel. Yep. 67 Mustang, I just got one of the Evolution saws and stand. So much better than my fiber disc DeWalt. You can make precise cuts. I'm really impressed. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I like the standard chop saw that they provided me. But I'm really looking forward to getting this thing out and setting it up and doing a demonstration on it. Now, unfortunately, I'm not at a point where I need to be cutting up metal for anything. I know on my other channel, I have done fabrication videos like deer feeders and using a welder and stuff like that. But for the most part, what I've done on this one is like build interior structure to hold a car together while I'm working on it, stuff like that. So, but I will do a demonstration video on this one. Rick, would you put wood grain on the side of the Mustang station wagon like the old Country Squire? Nah, I don't think so. I don't know if I can see that. That's an interesting approach, though. I do like the look. I saw somebody, you know, in fact, it's funny you mentioned that. I saw somebody took a Cybertruck and they put a wood grain thing on the side of it, or at least maybe it was a photo or a Photoshop type of thing. But it was pretty funny to see that. Pretty funny to see that. And oh, that's what I was going to say. I saw my first Cybertruck when I went up for my last eye visit. My first one, and it was black. I think it was wrapped. I think it was wrapped in a vinyl wrap, and it was all black. And nope, I still don't want one. Can't make me want one of those things. I've seen too many things that people have done with them or try to do with them and wreck them and all this other stuff. I don't see any value in that. But anyway, that was my first Cybertruck sighting. Okay, so what else do I have going on? Not much. I've got to get a few odds and ends ordered for the Cobra Jet, like those hood supports. And there still has to be some other things going on once I get the doors and fenders figured out, get those in place. But that'll all come. It'll all come. Robert saw another Cybertruck today. Jerry sent me a pic of a black wrapped one she saw in Maine today as well. Yeah. I saw another picture of one where the whole front end was knocked off of it, like front wheels, front bumper. Who knows what they did to it? But it was not good. It was not good at all. Okay. Well, it feels like I'm starting to lose my voice. I'm starting to sound like more like Scotty Kilmer, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, Robert says looks better in black, but still not interested. Yeah, me either. Okay. Whoops. James, just remember the last guy who made a stainless steel body vehicle was set up by the powers that be. History to repeat? You never know. You never know. Robert says, night all, yep. Dawn says, saw my first Cybertruck on the road yesterday. Yep. You know, we have a Tesla dealer right here in town, but all I see is cars. I have not seen a truck yet. Not in town. I've seen the Rivian running around, but I've not seen a Tesla. Okay, so I'm going to call tonight. We've been at it an hour and 15 minutes or so, and I think that's pretty good. I'm out of subject matter to discuss, but I will be working on some new videos, and there'll be something come out this week and next week for sure. And we'll see what happens the week after. I've got some stuff I have to, like I said, there's a lot going on over the next few weeks. But yeah, I think it's been great having everybody here. And once again, I'll be back next Monday night at 7 o'clock, and we'll see how things are going then. But as it is, I want to thank you for being here. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.